Hello. I just wanted to take a few minutes and kind of give you an introduction to the GIS software that you guys are going to be using. I think it's important to know the background behind it. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I think it is important to note that like many technologies that we have, GIS was developed by the US military. We didn't know about it till I guess it was 1991, January of 1991. And we found out about it because of the US war in Iraq. People started to question how we can take these missiles, launch them from a battleship out in the middle of the ocean, have them travel hundreds of miles away, and then all of a sudden they would tilt and just start falling. But that wasn't what was shocking to people. What was shocking to people is they noticed, because I think it was every 10th missile that was launched had a camera on it, and they broadcasted the live video feed from those missiles. And they noticed that these missiles were hitting their targets with such precision that they were going down the air pipes or the air conditioning units on top of these buildings, so that these missiles could get inside of the structure and blow up and pretty much destroy the whole building. Rather than if it blew up outside of the building, you may knock down a few walls. And so the military was forced to reveal their secret, which was that they would take these aerial photographs of Iraq, and then in fact, there was a photo taken of each square mile of the country was photographed every 15 minutes. And they would take these photos, line them up in chronological order, identify the Humvees, the tanks, the line of military cars that are traveling out in the desert, and they would follow them to where they were going, and each place that these military vehicles went became a target. And so they would take these photos that also identify the latitude and longitude of locations, and they would find the largest opening of the location, and that would become the target, and they would plug the latitude and longitude into these missiles, and the missiles would travel to that latitude and longitude and drop and hit the building perfect. So the government then released the technology to the public. Google became the first well-known user of GIS with their Google Earth software. So if you've used Google Earth, this program or website that you're going to be using may be a little bit more user-friendly, just because it's very similar. But Google Earth, you have this aerial photograph taken of every square inch of the country, of the world actually, and on this image we can put a lot of different other pictures. For example, you can select the streets and roads, and it will put a line on all of the roads, all of the streets that are in your city. It'll mark them with I think it's a yellow line. They also have another layer that's called 3D buildings. And if you click on the 3D buildings, it'll populate the buildings into 3 dimensions, so you can see what that building actually looks like. So what's happening here is you have this aerial photograph taken, then they've taken and given people the ability to create a 3-dimensional image of their house or work or building, whatever it is that they own. They can create a 3-dimensional image of it using Google SketchUp, take that image and drop it onto Google Earth. Google Earth takes that file, puts it on the main file, so that when people select the 3D building feature, these buildings populate up into view. They've taken and created a game on layers, the milk truck game, or there's one I saw a student playing several months ago where they are driving a race car on top of Google Earth. So there's many different things that you can do with Google Earth. We're going to take it in a different direction though, and we're going to collect data, information. Anybody can create a data layer. When you get on this website, you'll see that a lot of people create files, visual representations of data. One that you'll see on one of the tutorials became well known last year in Utah Valley when we had the Pole Creek fire. The Pole Creek fire, as you know, devastated our community, devastated the mountains with how large the fire got so quickly. But if you remember back to when that fire was raging, every day, morning and afternoon, they would release a map showing where the new burn line is, where the fire has traveled, what land the fire had actually burned. And they would update this map almost constantly. Well, for me, I didn't look at their published maps as much as I looked at their actual file. And their actual file was posted on this web page that you're going to be using. And they would update it quite a bit. So to the point where you could zoom into this map on ArcGIS and you could get so close that you could see all of the individual fires that were being started every single day, because the wind was blowing so hard that it would break burning branches off of trees and blow these branches several miles in the air or away from the fire, ahead of the fire, and it would land on the ground and start a new fire. So you could see where all of these new fires were starting up. Right now, and one of the assignments you're going to be given is we're going to look at what's happening with the coronavirus, because there are layers, people are creating layers that track all of the new cases that are happening in the state of Utah. And please note that looking at these is going to give us, your instructors, information, making sure that you are staying up on your work, and that'll be used to count on your attendance. But there's so much more that we can do than just tracking this live information. One layer that you're going to look at will tell us information about where you live, as far as each parcel, each house, and the property that it sits on. We can find out who the owner is. We can find out the address of the property. If the owner doesn't live there, where do they actually live? We can find out the tax history, how much you pay in taxes, how much your house is worth, how much the land is worth without the house, how big the property is. We could tell so much information from government records that are posted. And these are all, it's not like we're stalking. I know a lot of people are worried about stalkers, but this is all public information. Information that the government has deemed public so that anybody can access it. We can't find personal information, things that would be detrimental to you or your family. They don't post that kind of stuff, but anything that's on government records is posted, not just here, but on other parts of the county website. So I hope you enjoy. The tutorials hopefully will help you to complete the assignments. Please note too that the assignments as they are posted are not timed. And so let's say you start the GIS assignment today and you get through 4 or 5 questions and it's time for lunch. Your mom has lunch ready, whatever. You can close Canvas. Don't submit the assignment. Just close Canvas and your assignment will keep going. When you come back, you can just start right where you left off. As long as you don't select Submit, your assignment will keep going. If you click Submit, then it will turn in your work, your answers to your instructor for grading. So as long as you don't click Submit, this is your 3rd or 4th warning, you should be fine to just close Canvas, log out, and come back and pick up where you left off. I do not anticipate giving a second try, but if you have a question, please feel free to email your instructor. We will be checking our email and we can hopefully answer. If you are not in my class, you are in another teacher's class, and they don't know the answer, they're more than welcome to forward me your questions, and I will reply. So if you get an email from Derek Sorensen, you will know that I'm replying to your question, that your teacher has passed it on to me. Or I may just give your teacher the answer and they can reply. But I'll do whatever will make you guys happy, whatever will help you to learn how to use the software, because it really is important to know and to learn for your careers. I know so many companies that have told me that if they have an employee or somebody applying for a job that knows how to use GIS, they would hire them over somebody who has a degree in the field with no GIS experience. So it can be very beneficial to you. Anyways, good luck. Let us know if you need help, and we'll talk to you later.